to Channel 12's coverage of boys hockey. Today it's the Cooper Hawks taking on the Cougars of Como Park. Hello everyone, I'm Wally Langfellow along with Jay Wilcox. And Jay, these teams are going to meet a couple of times this year. It's non-conference, but as you talk to both coaches, you realize this is a good matchup for both clubs, fairly relatively even programs going into this.
That's right. St. Paul Como started 0-4 this season. Now they've won their last 4 straight, so they're feeling like they've got a little bit of momentum going. And for Cooper, they've got just 1 win so far, but it was over a Dodge County team that beat Como in the first game of the season for them. So it kind of gives you an indication the Hawks should have a decent chance of winning this one. They've played fairly well at times. They've had some close losses, haven't played as well at other times, and obviously they're looking to get a win here today.
Yeah, and Como head coach Dave Bakken told us a little bit before we started the broadcast that his club is very disciplined. They've got a bunch of kids with their GPAs are nearly 4.0. So this team is a well-thought-out, well-disciplined hockey team, and Cooper's going to have to deal with that today.
And he's a lot happier with the way they've covered their defensive zone and started to break out. He said earlier on we were turning pucks over in our own zone and just kind of looking a little shaky in the back. Now getting a lot better at that, and Cooper will have to get them back on their heels a little bit in the D zone.
As for the Hawks, of course, they're led by Trey Rooney. He leads them in points with 13 assists and 5 goals. And head coach Bill Rooney, of course, his dad says, Trey has to have a good game for us to win this game. And it's probably true.
More than likely, Trey will be the best skater on the ice here today, and the offense has got to start with him, certainly. He's got some line mates that have done some things too. Hayden Gauchi trying to come back after an ankle injury the other night. He leads their team in goal scoring with 9, and how well he's able to play or how much he's able to play is going to have a factor for them, I think, too.
All right, it's the Hawks and the Cougars coming up here on Channel 12. Stay with us. We'll be back with all the play-by-play in color right after this timeout. Welcome back, New Hope Ice Arena, St. Paul Como Park, and the Cooper Hawks getting set for non-conference action here today. A good look at the Cougars as they hit the ice in their dark uniforms with the gold trim. And one of the things we were just talking about is where are these guys going to play next year? Their home ice is the State Fairgrounds, the Coliseum, and that was announced earlier this week that will not be an ice arena any longer after this season. So Coach Bucket says, I don't know where we're playing next year.
Yeah, we've got quite a few teams that use that, whether it be college and obviously some section tournaments are there too.
Off the draw, Como Park wins it. They'll knock it into the Cooper end, chasing back for the Hawks. Picking up there's Joe Huber. He sends it along the near boards. Out to neutral and banged right back into the Cooper end where Huber chases it down. Joe Huber behind his own net now. Huber on the breakout. Sends it ahead a little bit too far, just off the stick of Parker Jacobs, and it's offside, and they'll bring it back outside of the Como Park zone.
It's been a busy week for Cooper, and they've built a lead and then lost it against Minneapolis on Wednesday night and lost to Sibley on Thursday night. They want to get off to a good start here today, I'm sure, on their home ice back here at New Hope.
This is Kopech bringing it ahead, dumping it into the Cooper end, chasing back for the Hawks. Drew Potter picks it up. Potter tries a rink-wide pass that does not clear the zone. Matt Klein holds it in, dumps it back towards the side of the net. Picked up by the Cougars. Shot from the point, kind of fanned on there, and here come the Hawks the other way. Ahead with it comes Rainier. Rainier brings it into the zone, loses it at the blue line. Picked off by Trey Rooney. Rooney now chasing as the Cougars regain possession, and back out to neutral it goes. Long lead pass, and that's going to be icing. Trying to send it ahead and put it onto the stick of one of his forwards, and there's a good look at Keegan Hewson. Coach Rooney said he's played much better this year. He's made tremendous strides from last year to this year as the goaltender here.
I would agree 100%. They've been definitely better in net. Last year they just were not very good in net, and Keegan's gotten better on a lot of aspects of his game. I mean, the numbers aren't going to look dynamite, but he's made enough saves to keep him in games for the most part.
Alex Stagger gulps one that goes over the top of the net, and the Cougars are able to clear all the way to the other end. Chased down by Bronson McLeod. Ahead to Rooney, and Rooney has it poke checked away. Regained by Trey Rooney. Rink wide near side, picked up by Nightingale. He has it taken off his stick. Chase for the puck at neutralized, batted into the zone by Huber. Hawks will change lines, 15 minutes to go here. First period of play, no score. The Hawks and the Cougars. Now ahead comes Crow, Raleigh Crow, back behind the Cooper net. Tied up in the corner now. Both clubs trying to dig it out of there. Finally freed and comes ahead. Long lead pass. And scooped up and picked up by goaltender Carter McCoy, who was a junior this year. And Carter McCoy is one of two players on this Como Park team that comes over as part of their co-op with St. Paul Central.
And McCoy, they said not a ton of experience, but they like what he's done. They said, he's been definitely a good part of our wins. They feel pretty good about him. And interesting for Como, got the co-op situation. Cooper this year co-oping with Fridley too, but it really only brought in one additional player for them. And obviously, whether it be Minneapolis or St. Paul City, and now the inner suburbs are facing the same thing. Numbers are an issue, definitely, and you're going to probably see more and more co-op type situations.
Yeah, and Cooper, I'm sure, will be looking for more co-op players next year because they're going to lose a number of seniors. This is a more senior-laden club than Coach Rooney had a year ago, or he's had in the past few years, actually. There's a shot that kind of fluttered towards the net. He's been able to steer it to the side. Ahead come the Hawks. This is Nick Larson into the zone with it. He has it taken off his stick. Held in there, however, by the Hawks. That's McLeod. Dumps it into the corner. Chasing back there is Nightingale for the Hawks. Cougars having trouble clearing the zone. Puck in the high slot, and it is finally picked off. Here they come the other way. Skating ahead with Inskeep. Inskeep has it taken off by Linderholm. Linderholm's long lead pass goes too far. Puck still played along the near boards, and I believe we're going to have an offside here. And we'll bring it back outside of the zone. 13:24 to go here, first period of play.
on occasion, Wally, we're seeing both teams kind of falling into that trap of seeing a long pass as a way to get a breakout, and sometimes, you know, tough to connect on those. You want to make sure of things, don't ice the puck. You want to, a lot of times, a short, crisper pass getting you that first part of the breakout is going to do a better job. I mean, yes, if you got a breakaway, go for it, but they're gambling a little bit too much through neutral.
And to a certain degree, I'm surprised to see Como Park doing that based on what Coach Pocket told me beforehand, saying that they're a more system-oriented club that tends to, you know, be smart with the puck. They dump it into the corner, chased down for the Hawks by Linderholm. He gets it out to neutral. Rooney and Stagger battling for it. Knocked ahead into the zone by Nightingale. Hawks will change lines again. Skating ahead is Zach Lee. Lee in over the line with it. Drop pass for Fryer. Fryer's lead pass on the far side goes off the stick now of Mormon. Mormon rings the boards with it to the near side. Stolen away, right out, shot front. Rebound comes out. Hewsom makes the save, and the Hawks are able to clear it.
First big chance of the game right there for Como.
Sam Johns gets it out to neutral ice and dumps it ahead into the Cougar end. Puck played now back onto the stick of the Como Park Cougars. Stolen away by Johns, and he is stopped by Carter McCoy. So the Hawks getting some opportunities, getting some shots at the net. And that's one of the things that Coach Rooney talked about before the game with us. He said, you know, we're getting plenty of opportunities. We just got to put the puck in the net many times.
Johns forced the turnover there. Maybe a little impatient kind of at the end of a shift there, taking a long shot there, but did get pretty good shot away there.
Cougars clear the zone, picked up at neutral there by Parker Jacobs. Pass to neutral ice, picked off. This is Klein coming into the zone. He takes a shot. Hewsom doesn't know where it is. Fortunately, was able to clear out of there by Jacobs. In over the line with it. There's a shot on net. That one goes off the glove of Carter McCoy. And here comes St. Paul Como Park over the line again. Raleigh Crow dumps it in. Played now by Inskeep. Back it goes to Inskeep. Inskeep sends it along for Tor Will. Will and Inskeep playing catch with it. On the near side, Rooney poke checks it away. And away goes Trey Rooney with the puck for the Hawks. Rooney in over the line. Rooney, snap shot, and a goal! Well, just over the left shoulder of Carter McCoy. He went top shelf, and it is 1-0 in favor of the Cooper Hawks.
Well, Rooney flashing some of that skill right there. Started to toe drag the puck around and then just unleashed a rocket high on the stick side under the crossbar. Beautiful shot, beautiful rush. And they obviously want to get him more opportunities like this with some open ice to work with. Trey's good skater, good stick handler, and able to get a goal off the rush, which was nice for the Hawks right there, and they go on top.
Well, he pulled that thing right away from Zach Lee. Lee overplayed it, and Trey pulled it back. Here comes Alex Steger into the zone, and he loses the puck. Held in, however, by the Hawks. There's a quick shot that goes off the skate of a defender. Nick Kopik back out to the blue line and beyond. Puck loose at neutral. Como Park, there's a shot on net. Hewsom able to steer it to the near side. Another shot hits the side of the cage. Rings the boards to the far side, and back out to neutral ice it goes, right in front of the Hawks bench. Played ahead by Cooper's Patrick Cohn. Around the boards it goes and sent right back in by Joe Huber. Puck played back out to neutral. Huber with it now. Huber sends it ahead too far, trying to hit Riley Castle on the near boards. Cleared back into that corner. Held in by St. Paul Como Park, right at the blue line. Boy, they had an opportunity there. It was off the stick of Raleigh Crow. And the Hawks clear to the other end, and they'll get a line change here. 9:22 to go here, period number 1. I did not hear, did they give an assist on the Rooney goal?
Larson
got the assist, okay.
Yeah. Both teams getting a little bit. Both teams getting a little crisper here as first period's gone on a little bit. We're seeing some chances like that one.
There's another shot, and again, Houston makes a couple of nice saves. Boy, and he was left hung out to dry there, too, and he did a nice job of keeping that puck out of the back of the net.
You want your goalie to at least be able to stop that first shot and then get some help from there, and he's able to do that. A little bit of a rebound, but he got the good job using the goal stick to pull it back into his body.
So Houston actually doing both ends of it there. Made the first stop and then made sure that that rebound didn't get out too far. On the draw, that's Rainier in the circle for Cooper. Como Park wins the draw, however. Shot from the point, and Houston makes a nice save. That one went right through traffic. He did a good job keeping his eye on it. Glove save, and he flops on top of it. Boy, he is doing a nice job. Keegan Houston here in the early going.
Good chance there for Tor Will. They weren't able to tie him up.
That is not Bill Rooney, of course. That is Dave Bakken. He is the head coach. There you go. 4th year here at Como Park. Hawks dump it into the Como end. And here come the Cougars. Puck is poked away. Steger brings it in over the blue line. He has it poked off his stick. Big check at center ice. Takedown there by Nightingale. Rooney with it now. Headman to Steger. Steger at the blue line loses it. And what do we got? Offside again? We do.
Yeah, I think we're going to have penalties on each team here. Yeah, Steger was mixing it up a little bit there with Max Inskeep, and he gave a gesture to each of them to head on over to the box. Had a slash on Cooper and a rough on Como, it looks like.
So the time of that penalty will be 8:37. It's that quick District 281 math coming into play there. Long lead pass, a little bit too far, picked up by Potter for Cooper. And Potter is going to ice the puck. They'll have to march it down the other end, not what they wanted to do there.
Well, we haven't seen Hayden Gauchi listed as a first-line wing with them, and I'm guessing that means if he hasn't played yet, he more than likely isn't going to. So, and there's a look at Bill Rooney, and obviously it hurts their depth a little bit when you not only do you not have Hayden, you also bump somebody, Greg Nightingale, up from what was a position of strength for him on that second line.
Yeah, no question.
Wild bouncing shot in there, and Newsom, he didn't seem to let it bother him.
No, kept his eye on the puck. Cass with it now. Circles and tries to send it back, but it's picked off. Near point with it now, that's Zach Lee. Shot and a goal!
Beautiful tip there. Put that one right onto the stick of Tor Will. Just a redirection. Not much Newsom could do on that one.
Well, there was just not much movement defensively there for Cooper. A wide open side of the net. And the combination of Lee and Will tie this game up at 1. And the time of the goal will be 9:19.
Yeah, he saw Will out front and just a beautiful redirection.
But it doesn't get much better than that.
No, that was pretty, and then not that easy to do from that far out either. He was not directly in front of the net there, but just put it right where he needed to. It really started with a bad turnover though for Cooper. If you're not sure of being able to stick handle it, you got to at least get the puck out of danger a little bit.
Puck is cleared to the far side. Hawks finally get it out of the zone. Picked up by Jacobs. He comes in over the line. He is tackled. No call. Fans don't like it. Puck comes bounding back out. Where is it? I think it's stuck in the uniform of one of the players, isn't it?
Elliot Mormon has it in his breezers.
Yes, he does.
I never saw it come down, so I thought it had to be somewhere along there. And
it's not in the rafters here.
No, that's for sure.
It is not in the rafters.
I think Mormon felt that it was somewhere, but he wasn't sure either. Sometimes guys will come in and line you up and hit you hard when you've got it stuck like that, so he was probably glad they blew the whistle.
Rooney goes rink wide to McLeod. McLeod's shot ricochets into the corner. Hawks trying to hold it in the zone. Finally picked up and away they go the other way. This is Will in over the line. Tor Will, centering pass, knocked away. Goes into the far corner. Poke checked out of the zone there by Gauchi, who was on the ice. That's the first time we've seen him out there. And they are able, the Hawks able to clear it down to the far end of the ice as they change lines. Puck comes back out to neutral. Sent ahead, but right into the belly button of Joe Huber, who clears it back to neutral, ahead to Trey Rooney. Rooney coming ahead with it. Rooney with Cass. Pass is intercepted. Flips back out to neutral and too far. Chased down there by Peter Gartner for the Cougars. Gartner with the centering pass right out in front. And Houston falls on it. Now the puck comes loose back behind the net.
Strange play there, and I think the Hawks might have gotten away with a trip alongside the net there as Matt Hageman was trying to shoot it.
Here comes an opportunity on a shot right on goal. Houston with the save, and the rebound is collected, however, by the Hawks. Away they come. This is Sam Johns dumping it into the Como Park end. Puck played along the near boards. It's Drew Potter battling for it. Now Cass joins the fray. Far side in the far corner. Digging there is Nick Larson. Larson sends it out to the point. Larson picks it up now in the far face-off circle. Larson still wheeling with it. Rings the boards to Rainier. Rainier right out in front. And that one goes off by the stick, rather, of Nick Larson. Como Park finally able to clear the zone, and they'll use this opportunity to change. They wanted to change lines there. That group was out there for a long time.
Not entirely sure why that wasn't icing. Even though the puck slowed down a lot, there was nobody near it.
I was wondering myself why the whistle didn't blow there. But of course it didn't blow on that trip a little earlier either, so these guys are in a hurry. There's an offside with 4.5 to go. A very fast-paced first period. There have not been a lot of whistles. They're just letting them play for the most part. The only whistles we've heard have been offside calls and one icing.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good hockey game. Not always crisp, but guys going back and forth, skating pretty well early on the game, and as expected, a fairly even matchup it seems so far.
Rooney chases it down for the Hawks. Around the boards. Gets it to Linderholm. Linderholm sends it ahead now to Stagger, who is back in after serving his penalty. Puck played in that near corner. Hawks trying to maintain control. Out with it is Rooney. Rooney in the slot. Rooney still holding. Sends it along to the far side. Picked up by Nightingale. Back out to the point. It comes now to McLeod. Nightingale. Stagger to Rooney. And here come the Cougars the other way. And this one's going to go all the way down where Houston has to scoop it up. I'll have you know, and just putting all my cards on the table here, the Rooney and Stagger combination was my 3-4 hitters when I coached those guys at Little League.
Good athletes, obviously. Good baseball players and good hockey players. And
no doubt. It's a pretty good 3-4 combination for a Little League team, let me tell you. Shot towards the net, and again, Houston makes the save. He's been busy back there, if nothing else. You know, sometimes a goaltender, you don't get a lot of shots towards you or a lot of action, and then when it does come, you're kind of caught off guard. And he has been busy, not had to make a lot of tremendous saves, but you know, putting the shots on net, and Houston has been kept busy tonight. Yeah,
I think most goalies would tell you they would just as soon be busy. They like to face shots. You're out there to be involved in the action, and you know, you don't want to be constantly facing great chances, maybe, but getting work is definitely a good thing.
Being in the game. Right out in front, Houston makes another save, and he goes down and covers up to the side of the net. Boy, Keegan Houston, and he got hit there, I think, as he went down that time, kind of looking around, where the heck is the puck?
Well, Parker Gartner had a great opportunity in front.
Point blank.
Yeah, not able to sneak it through the pads there, and Then they came to protect Keegan late, and I thought I wouldn't have been that shocked to see a penalty there on the Hawks. That hit was fairly hard and fairly late, but they're going to say, you know, just all in the act of protecting your goaltender.
They'll dump it ahead, and a little 2-on-1 off that ricochet, and the net will come off its moorings as a couple of players come crashing through, including
George Nicewander.
That's George Nicewander. I was going to say, I'm going to have to look down to my JV roster for that one.
That long bank pass really caught the weak side defenseman by surprise there, and they almost got a great chance out of that.
Off the draw, picked up by the Hawks. They send it ahead a little bit too far. Picked up by Zach Lee now for the Cougars. Intercepted at neutral by McLeod. McLeod holds it in the zone, but loses the puck now. Hawks trying to generate some offense here. Game tied at 1. Trey Rooney with the lone goal for the Hawks. Finally, Como Park back out to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Held in there, chased down by Rainier. Rings the boards with it. Lead pass comes out to the blue line, turning, swiping, shooting, and having the save made by Carter McCoy. Well, if nothing else, the Hawks able to hold the play at that end of the ice for a fair amount of that shift.
I think great idea by Rainier to take that shot there, but the execution, he didn't get a whole lot on it. He didn't hit it the way he wanted to there, obviously, and not too difficult to save for McCoy.
Rooney wins the draw. Back out to the point it comes to Potter. Comes near side with it to Hubert. He lets it fly, and that one is deflected up and behind the plexiglass out of the area of play, and so we'll have another face-off.
That's a great play, though, by the Hawks there, because they got the puck to the net, and they also got a lot of traffic. I don't know how. I'm sure McCoy at some point couldn't see that puck, and boy, you work on that in practice. Get a little traffic, bother that goaltender, and also make sure the shot gets through.
Hawks still trying to hold it in the zone. Finally cleared out to neutral. Here comes St. Paul Como Park in over the line, 3-on-2, and then somebody is offside.
Now Will was forced to make a little bit of a move to his right just as he was hitting the blue line. I think you can give a little partial credit to Cooper defensively there for stepping up and not just conceding that blue line, and it brought the left winger just a touch in ahead of him.
So we're under 2 minutes here, period number 1. And as Jay said a little earlier, fairly evenly matched thus far. Here comes Rooney along with Stagger. Rooney in over the line. Rooney takes a shot, saved by McCoy. A rebound, he fanned on it. Gets it back, gets it to Stagger, swipes at it, and that one's kicked into the corner.
Obviously, most of the scoring chances for Cooper are probably going to come from this group, and they cashed in once earlier and almost did there.
Rooney still working it. Back behind the net, centers it for Stagger. Stagger turns and swipes. Had his stick kind of poked off the puck, and the puck comes loose into the corner. Cooper still holding it in his own. Another shot by Stagger. That one goes wide. Held in by the Hawks. They continue to put pressure on. On the far side, puck comes all the way out to neutral. And it is picked up. Here's a 2-on-1 now for St. Paul Como Park. Right out in front. Houston with the save, the rebound, and he kicks that one to the side as well.
Will looking for another deflection goal like his first one. This was a little different play. He made the best of it, had to reach for it, and it was a great save.
Huber sends it too far, and it'll go right on net, so McCoy actually has to make a save. Just under 30 seconds ago now in the period. Another shot and a save made by McCoy. Boy, nice job by Sam Johns to pull the puck away and then get that shot on net. I don't think McCoy was expecting where it came, but he was able to make the save.
Hard to be ready for that one because Johns didn't waste any time doing it. That's for sure.
He pulled it away, turned and fired. It was nice play by Sam Johns. Off the draw. Hawks trying to put one more on the board here before the end of the period. They hold it in the zone. To the side of the net. That's Rainier with it. Vernier gets it back out to the point. Backhanded back in by Linderholm. Back out to the point, and that will end period number 1. Well, I think if you asked Bill Rooney at the end of period number 1, if it was tied at 1 and you played like the way you did in the first period, would you be happy with it? And I'm guessing the answer would be yes.
And especially the way they closed the period, I think, too, Wally. Some good shifts toward the end of the period for them, and you get that one goal from Trey and counteracted by that goal from Como. I think both teams saw some things to like and maybe some things to work on in that first period.
We are through one period of play here at New Hope Ice Arena. We are tied at 1. It's Cooper 1 and St. Paul Como Park 1. We're back after this. Stay with us.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
No, not really.
First period highlights. We're tied at 1. Let's take a look at what transpired in period number 1. And it's an empty ice with the Zamboni. Why don't we do this again, eh? Welcome back. We're between periods 1 and 2 here at the New Hope Ice Arena. Let's take a look at first period highlights. Cooper with a couple of opportunities in the early going. This one just fluttering by on the shot taken by Nick Larson. Later on, Larson hooks up with Trey Rooney, who finishes the job. Rooney with his 6th goal of the year. That made it 1-0. Time of that goal was 8:11. But it didn't take long for St. Paul Como Park to come back. They kept Keegan Hewson busy. Hewson, by the way, making 19 saves in the first period alone. But Zach Lee eventually finding Tor Will at 9:19, about a minute 8 after that Cooper goal. And that's where we stand right now. We are tied at 1. But look at the shots on goal, Jay. I mean, 20 shots on goal in that first period. We talked about keeping Keegan Hewson busy. He was very busy.
At first, when I saw that number, I thought, wow, that sounds awful high. And then you start thinking back. Not all of them were great chances, but yeah, they put a lot of pucks on him. And we have seen a lot of shots in this first period, which you like to see. It's fun, been a fun hockey game so far.
So far, so good. 1-1 our score. We will be back with period number 2 right after this. Stay with us.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
1-1 our score as we get set for second period play. I don't know if you're in that Cooper locker room. You change anything? What do you think went on in there?
I'm guessing limiting the shots a little bit that they allowed Como, and,
Boy,
and you know, that part certainly has got to happen. I think they haven't played the body all that much, and Coach Rooney talked to me about that a little bit, how, you know, they kind of had to finally stand up for themselves a little bit against Sibley because they were getting knocked around. They're not a team that's that big, and you have to be in the right position and, you know, working hard, moving your feet to get there. You don't want to just start taking runs at people, but they haven't played the body much at all here today, and I think that's something they'd maybe like to do, you know, offensively as much as defensively.
Here's an opportunity right off the faceoff, and a couple of nifty saves made again by Keegan Houston. Boy, point blank on that rush, and Houston stops him twice.
Well, Gartner would like to have that one again. He was in alone after they couldn't make the stop at the blue line, and this is a really nice save right here with the glove, and then just juggles it and hangs on.
Nice job by Keegan Houston.
And you talked about earlier the improvement. I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but I'm saying that's probably not a save he would have made last year.
Yeah. Faceoff will come back outside of the Cooper end. Nightingale steps into the faceoff. No, but it's going to be Rooney. And they send it in at Houston. He steers it to the side. So what? At least 2 more shots of that total now, right? Maybe 3? I mean, 20 shots on goal in that first period. Hey, David Beck, if I had told you before the game you're going to get 60 shots on goal, 20 a period, I think you'd be really happy with that.
I think just about anybody would take that. And they had the one goal that they did put away was a nice shot, definitely. And you know, the other times they just weren't able to beat Houston, but they've played well. They've got. I can see why they like the way their improvement has happened through this year. They didn't have, you know, a huge amount of players back from last year, and they started slow, but have gotten better.
8 seniors on the team, according to Coach Backen. Their combined grade point average 3.98. Pretty good. And he said, we're very disciplined. And I said, well, if you got GPAs around 4 for your senior class, that probably explains it. Here come the Hawks and in over the line. That shot whistles high and wide, taken there by Crawford.
Uh-oh, I said take the body, and Alex Stager is going to be called for, I believe, a charge here would be my guess.
That'll be the second time Alex will end up in the box. And he's waiting for his penance here.
No interference is what he's going to get. Just a touch later than was, you know, to me it wasn't that far. I almost think Alex was a victim of this being a good hard hit. You could say that the man wasn't playing the puck anymore, but when it's only a few feet from him like that, I don't know. In my opinion, if he didn't knock him off his feet, they probably would not have called that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looked like a pretty clean hit.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that I would do anything different there if I was Alex, to be perfectly honest on that. I don't know. Usually you're given a little bit of leeway if the puck's that close to the player who just had it.
Yeah, the fact that he was just standing there, that's not Alex's fault that he wasn't pursuing it, right?
Exactly.
And the first power play, this is our first power play of the contest, and Houston has to cover up on the puck that ricocheted off the back wall.
Yeah, the previous penalties were coincidental, so first time we are getting to see, and this a good opportunity for Como here. They've come out pretty good in this early in the second, and if they could really generate some pressure here and maybe get a goal, that'd be good for their sake.
At the point, shot taken, and Houston watches that one go by. Cleared out of there by Linderholm, and it goes the length of the ice. McCoy gathers up and drops it off for Kopech. Kopech has it stolen away by Rooney, and now he regathers.
Great hustle in there by Rooney, and it almost led to a great chance for Parker Jacobs, who was coming up the slot. Rooney tried to get the pass to him, and a defenseman got a piece of it.
Again, Rooney breaking up the play, keeping the Como Park power play off stride here. Finally into the zone with it comes Anders Saturn. Picked up now by Will. Comes near side with it. That's Gartner. And again, it is Hewsome keeping the puck out of the back of the net. 46 seconds remaining in that man advantage. As you see, 14:03 to go here in period number 2. Alex Stager sitting in the box for interference.
Kind of a sneaky shot here because there was a fair amount of traffic. He doesn't get a ton on it, but you see the deflection out front off the stick of Saturn.
Puck played now in the corner and whacked back out to the high slot. There's another shot, just goes to the right of Hewsome. Picked up back there by Nicewander. Nicewander sends it around, and it is intercepted by Huber. Huber tries to clear, cannot get it out of the zone, however. Nice job held in there by Matt Klein. He backhands it back in. Drew Potter chases it down. Picked up again by Huber. Huber golfs at it, and it gets back out to the blue line, but not out of the zone, and now it goes out of play.
Good plays by Como, yes, but at the same time, when you get 3 chances like that to clear it, you've got to be able to get that puck out if you're the Hawks.
Yeah, they got to find a different spot to try and clear it to.
They have killed off the first, all but the first minute 49 of this penalty here.
So 11 ticks remaining. Cooper just needs to get it out of the zone one more time. There's another shot. Hewsome, rebound though, and he has to cover up again. Boy, by my count, that's another 6, maybe 7 shots this period alone. They're up to 27 shots on goal. That's got to end for them, Jay.
That's right, but on that situation when you're shorthanded, I think they can live with that. Those were fairly far out, and they were, relatively covered in front.
Chased down at the other end. Rooney trying to steal the puck away. Held in there on the little backhand by Jacobs. Back out to neutral. Head in over the line with it. Comes Jacobs. He loses it. Stolen away now by Bronson McLeod. Hawks trying to regain control here of the puck. Back to even strength. Stager back in there now. At the blue line. Picked up by Rooney finally. Rooney clears it ahead to Stager. Stager racing ahead and over the blue line. Stager comes in, he shoots, and a save made by McCoy with the left knee pad. And the puck comes back out to neutral ice. Ahead come the Como Park Cougars the other way. That was broken up as Anders Saturn tried to bring it in. He was checked off the puck. Held in, however, by the Cougars. Picked up on that far side by Rooney. Rooney backhands it ahead a little bit too far. This is Patrick Cohn chasing. Cohn loses it, regathers. Cohn still battling back there. And what do we have? A whistle and a stoppage in play.
Yeah, it landed on the back of the net, and it's going to come outside the zone because the Cooper player flipped it onto the net there.
Here's that last chance for Stager and the Hawks. Got a little bit too close. And good. McCoy did a nice job coming out and cutting off the angle.
Yeah, good pass to start out by Rooney, and a pretty good job by Stager of being able to be strong on the puck and get away. A pretty decent attempt there. Got another look at it there, and it was a good low shot. Yes, he was in a little tight and ran out of room, but it was a puck that could have gone in, and McCoy didn't kick that leg out nicely.
Back out to the point, held in by Potter. He sends it to the near corner. Puck sent back out to the blue line. Spinning around is Potter. Couldn't find it. Finally clears it into the Como end. Knocked out by Matt Klein for Como. Right back in. McCoy gloves it and hands it off, and they're able to clear, but this one is going to be icing all the way to the other end of the ice. 11:29 to go here, period number 2. 1-1 is our score. Como Park and Cooper, both teams scoring about a minute apart midway through that first period.
Cooper, I think now after killing off that penalty, now is the time where they need to get some jump, get a couple back-to-back good shifts. They haven't had much really going in that second period other than that chance on the rush by Stager a moment ago.
Here comes a 3-on-2 if they hurry. In over the line with it now comes Crow. Crow is checked off the puck neatly there by Linderholm. The Hawks able to clear out to neutral. Ahead they come. Jacobs in over the line. He takes a shot and right into the midsection of goaltender Carter McCoy as Jacobs was hammered into the boards going down. Trying to take that shot.
Another look. Nice pass through neutral there, and Jacobs firing. And
boy, Nick Kopech kind of took out his legs after the play, and I think Jacobs was not happy with that. particularly after the whistle had blown.
You know, I thought initially that he had gone lower, but in looking at that again, I think the first contact was with the shoulder. I think it was clean. Would be my look from that second look. It doesn't feel good ever to get knocked down. There's no doubt about that, but
whether it was legal or not was the issue, or within the rules. Rooney off the draw, tries to slip it to Stagger. He fanned on it. Picked up by Stagger, now poke checked away. Far side, that's Potter. Rooney regathers and sends it back out to neutral. Ahead a little bit too far for Stagger. That's Huber with it now. Huber at center ice, dumps it in. Hawks trying to hold the zone. At the blue line, shot taken by Potter. That one deflected and trickles to the corner. Comes out of the zone. Huber will have to get the Hawks back on side. Delayed offside, picked up now by Fryer. Fryer comes in over the line. Dumps it into the far corner. Huber chases it down. Centering pass on the backhand goes over the stick of Zach Lee. Past Stagger and back out it comes now to Matt Klein. Klein in over the line. Klein's shot goes right into the skates of Potter. Picked up by Crawford. Around it goes. It was Tor Will. Now the Hawks with Huber. Ahead it goes. Rooney skipped over his stick. They are on side. Rooney backhands towards the net. It's right onto the stick of Kopech though, and Kopech clears the zone, and this will be icing. So Cooper putting a little bit more pressure on that time.
Trying to go back-to-back home run passes, one each way, and they almost got that one to Rooney. It was tipped, and then Como was hoping for an offside. When you're the defenseman, you're raising your hand and saying, hey, is he offside or not? But you're really just hoping at that point.
Puck comes all the way down, finally whacked to the side by Linderholm. Off it goes to McLeod. McLeod comes in over the line. McLeod still with it. That's a McLeod. McLeod circling, cycling, a shot to goal! I believe it was tipped out front by Riley Cass. Let's see. Take a look on that replay. McLeod did a nice job of being really patient, came all the way around. And it's McLeod and Cass, I believe, hooking up on that. Let's see.
Yeah, I believe Cass got a piece of it too. That was my impression. But yeah, McLeod definitely gets a great share of the credit for this one.
Let's see. Watch it again carefully here. McLeod with the shot. Boy, it was redirected. I don't know if it was it redirected by a defenseman's stick? I don't know. Cass was right there. Here's another angle.
Oh, it hit a defenseman. Yeah, it looks like it must be going to be McLeod who will end up with it, apparently. Well, we'll see for the announcement, but
see what they discuss over there. If they're going to give Cass any credit, or if it's going to be McLeod off a defenseman, so it would be unassisted, really. I don't think there was anybody else involved in that. Nonetheless, Cooper has taken the lead on the goal. They lead 2-1. Now remember, they had the lead in the first period, but gave it up quickly just 1 minute and 8 seconds after the Rooney goal. The good news for head coach Bill Rooney and company is that it didn't take his first line to get that goal. He got something out of the second line.
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit for them, any team, but especially in a case like theirs where you've got a little bit of a definite first line. You want those other guys to get out there, get involved, and get some things done, and McLeod made a nice play there. They haven't announced the goal. I don't know if they're not
undecided,
or I think they're having trouble with the PA, to be honest.
They could shout it. We probably could hear them from here. Back goes Huber for it. Rings the boards to the far side to Rainier. Rainier loses it. Now it's right out in front. Backside now held in by the Cougars. Nice tape-to-tape passing. Shot taken there. That one by Tor Will is steered to the side. And again, Keegan Hewson doing a spectacular job so far. That one goes high and wide of his glove over the outstretched hand of Hewsome, and the Hawks will clear the zone to change lines. They really needed a break there. That group had been out there battling for a while.
Well, then Como has to like the way they responded, because that was a great shift for them right there. Probably overall it might have been their best shift of the game, and in response to that Cooper goal. And Hewsome made one nice save, and then the deflection went over the net moments later.
Shot there deflected. Hewsome makes another save. That one with a skate save right out in front, unable to get the stick down is Ian Tully. He was right there as it went through the slot. Another centering pass. Spinning, shooting, right into the midsection. Another save by Hewsome. Picked up the puck, goes to the far side now. Boy, the Cougars keeping the pressure on, and finally the Hawks able to clear the zone. Back out to neutral ice it comes. They'll whack it back in. Clear to the blue line, but not out. Drop pass, fanning on it. On the first attempt was Gartner. Second attempt now goes to the side of the net. Puck comes back out to the near side. Held in. There's another shot taken from the point by Fryer. And the Hawks again are just going to have to whack it to the other end as they continue to be pressured by Como Park.
Boy, have they got the Hawks back on their heels these last couple of shifts. I mean, they're just completely defending. And the puck's moving around, shots are coming. I mean, it almost starting to feel like a goal's inevitable if they can't get the puck cleared. Hewsome's making a couple of nice saves, but boy, they just unable to even really come close to clearing it.
Well, and you saw him tip it with his glove on the last attempt there. And that replay, you could really clearly see that. Coach Bill Rooney says, let's get that first line back out there. Trey Rooney comes to the other end, and his shot goes up into the high glass out behind the goal. And we'll have a face-off to the left of the Como Park goal.
Now, Rooney is the one guy really that you can say, you know, take the puck and lead the rush yourself, bring it out, stick handle. He's got the wheels to do it.
Long lead pass goes a little bit too far for Como Park as Elliot Moorman has to scramble to the corner to get it. Moorman's still with it. Moorman checked there by Potter. Picked up by the Hawks now. Rooney had it and lost it. Puck loose at the blue line. Finally picked up by Huber. Huber sends it a little bit too far, trying to get it to Rooney along the near boards. Rooney working for it. Skips over the stick of Drew Potter. Potter sends it ahead for Stagger. And offside. And we'll have the face-off outside of the Cooper zone. 2-1 our score. You see 5:51 remaining here in period number 2. The Hawks 1 goal in the first, 1 goal in the second. And the 2-1 lead. Overall,
I think they've been outplayed in this period. However, what gets on the board is what really matters, and they've also gotten really good goaltending.
Keegan Hewsome has had a tremendous game thus far, without question. And they're going to need him to continue based on what we've seen. Como Park continues to control play. A shot towards the net. That one trickles right out in front of Hewsome. Hewsome goes down again, and he belly flops and butterflies on top of that thing.
That was really a couple more good chances. Hewsome's really dialed in right now.
He really is.
Cooper's got to figure some things out in their defensive zone, that's for sure.
Boy, that one nearly deflected in off the skate of his own man. Nathan Linderholm was right there, and I don't think Nathan saw the puck. Fortunately, Hewsome did. Picked up by McLeod. McLeod sends it ahead for Johns. And it was picked off by Como Park. Hustling back for it is McLeod. McLeod with a long lead pass. Was a little bit too far. Cass picks it up. Now it's whacked into the zone by the Hawks. That was Zach Crawford who sent it ahead. Back out to the near point now for McLeod. He winds up and shoots. McCoy steers that one to the side. Hawks finally holding the zone for a little while, and no sooner do I say that, and here comes Como Park the other way. Shot in over the line, taken there by the Cougars. That one up over the top of the cage, right next to the net. Shot by Hageman. Hageman, along with Carter McCoy, the two players from St. Paul Central, that part of this co-op in Como Park and Central. Hawks dump it in.
Good play there by Huber. I mean, sometimes you get stopped on a rush, you've got to at least get the puck deep into the corner, give your team a chance to go forecheck.
Here comes Rooney over the line. Rooney centers it to Stagger. Stagger has his stick whacked at by a defender, picked up by Matt Klein, going the other way now for Como Park. Stagger steals it back. Stagger comes in ahead with Rooney. Drop pass, shot, no, that one goes wide. Rooney chasing in the near corner. He is hammered from behind. Holy smokes.
This one will most likely be a major, I think.
And Trey is slow to get up. Wow.
Those are the dangerous ones that they've really tried to crack down on, especially last year. And I think Klein will be very interesting, but I believe he's probably going to get a major here.
He's got it. That is not boarding. That is clearly checking from behind. If he gets anything but a 5, then the officials have made a mistake. Let's see what they do.
They are meeting to check this one out right now, and
well, they can come over and look at the replay if they want. I'd be happy to show it to them. I just hate to see that. You know, I mean, he clearly was in a vulnerable position. I don't think that there's any question. Take a look. Right from behind, jams his head and shoulder into the boards, and he got the 5 minute. And as you know now, the last couple of years now, the 5 minutes doesn't make you score as much as you want.
He's going to get a 5, and I'm not sure if it's a game misconduct or a 10-minute misconduct. Either way, they'll send him to the locker room. It might be a game.
So Matt Klein is gone. Well, it would be through the end of the period regardless.
Right.
So that might be the impetus for sending him off the ice. Well, the officials took care of business. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, you couldn't really find a more textbook example of what they're trying to eliminate. So.
Exactly.
Game started to get a little bit more physical as the middle of the second period comes on, and then sometimes get a little over exuberant there.
So for the first time in the game, Cooper on the power play. Rooney with a blast that goes wide. Picked up on that far side by McLeod. McLeod at the blue line, and the easy glove save on the wrist shot by McCoy.
And they got under that one a little bit too much. A goalie doesn't have much trouble snagging one like that. McLeod getting what we believe will be a goal for him. We're going to have to check between periods for sure on that, the go-ahead goal for Cooper.
Off the draw, the Hawks managing to hold it in the zone. Now it comes back out to neutral, and they'll have to regather. Linderholm. Rooney nearly ran into McLeod, and now McLeod has to circle one more time. Ahead it goes to Trey. In over the line. Rooney. Checked hard on that far side by Kopech. Now Stagger and Rooney trying to get that puck out of there. They're finally able to clear it out to the blue line. Held in nicely by McLeod, kind of doing a high wire act out there. Now he goes to Stagger. One-timer is saved.
Yeah, the Gartner got a piece of that one sliding over to block it.
All the way to the other end. Hewson sends it ahead now. Sends it a little bit too far. Here comes an opportunity for the Hawks. Linderholm skates all the way in. He shoots and scores! Nathan Linderholm breaks free down the near side and gives Cooper a 2-goal lead at 3-1. Time of the goal will be 14:31.
Linderholm made a great play at neutral to come up with this one. And then just driving, you'll see it hits McCoy, the tip of his glove. He gets a piece of that, but it just handcuffed him.
Well, and he put just enough juice on it, too, because if that shot was any softer, I think you're right. I think McCoy probably would have made the save there. So Cooper takes advantage, gets a power play goal, and they are still 5-on-4. Remember, this is a major that the Cougars are serving here.
And you really, it adds extra incentive, I think, to score when somebody kind of takes a run at one of your guys like that. And you know, there's no better way to get payback than to score some goals, and maybe multiple goals if you're Cooper right now.
So it is cleared all the way to the other end of the ice where Huber picks it up. Huber coming ahead, goes rink wide with it to Rooney. Rooney circles and tries to set up the power play now. Rooney comes in over the line. Rooney with a shot that goes wide. And the puck comes ricocheting all the way back out to neutral. Potter has it. Potter over the blue. Poke checked away. Stagger picks it up on the far side. Stagger skates in near far faceoff circle. His pass is intercepted, and St. Paul Como Park will try to kill some time here as Anders Satterton dumps it ahead. Huber has to chase it down. Satterton leaves it. Now Rooney picks it up. Rooney coming ahead. Rooney drop pass now. Shot right out front. Save off the shot taken by Nightingale. Rooney still has it. About a little over 2 minutes remaining in this man advantage for Cooper. Quick shot on goal and another save by McCoy. They clear to the other end.
Good save there, but a juicy rebound, but the Cougars were first to it.
Ahead come the Hawks. McLeod. McLeod skates in over the blue. McLeod still with it. McLeod chased now on that far side by Kopech. Loses the puck. Rooney centers it back to Stagger right out in front. His shot saved. Knee pad saved by goaltender McCoy. Far side with it now. That's Nightingale. Nightingale's pass is deflected. All the way to the other end. Picked up by McLeod now. That'll be the end of the period. As Stagger comes in, shot right at the horn, goes high and over the top. And we are through 2 periods of play. Cooper has regained and extended their lead. They score twice here in the second period, once on the power play, and Keegan Hewson continues to stand on his head. I mean, I know it's cliche, but he really has played an outstanding hockey game.
And that late penalty completely changing the complexion of this game here. The Hawks have all the momentum right now heading into our second intermission.
2 periods in the books. It's Cooper 3, St. Paul Como Park 1. We are back after this time.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winnicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
We are through 2 periods of play here at the New Hope Ice Arena, and it is 3-1 in favor of Cooper. Shots on goal in that period were even at 12, as opposed to the first period, Jay, where it was really overwhelmingly in favor of Como Park, and that's how they came out quickly. Houston having to make a big save there. And then an opportunity at the other end for Alex Stagger, and he was stopped by McCoy. Later on, another opportunity for Cooper. This time they cash in. Riley Cass redirecting a shot by Bress McLeod. That gave Cooper the 2-1 lead. And then again, Houston, he has played extraordinarily well this afternoon, keeping the puck out of the net. And once again, stopping St. Paul Como Park. That might be the turning point of the game right there. The check from behind by Klein into Trey Rooney. It's a 5-minute major. Cooper cashes in right here on the goal. and they get the 3-1 lead on that goal by Linderholm. So it is now 3-1 heading into the third period, and they still have another minute 12 on that power play.
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge for both teams coming in. If Cooper's able to get one more, give them a pretty good margin. If not, Como still very much within striking distance, and they have played quite well for large stretches of this game.
So Klein gets the 5-minute major and a disqualification, so he is done for the day. We'll be back with period number 3 right after this. You are watching boys high school hockey right here on the 12.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
It's the richest and the most powerful country.
Our score. Cooper leading St. Paul Como Park, and as we mentioned, they will start this period with that man advantage for 1 minute and 12 seconds more from the checking from behind penalty, in which Matt Klein not only served a major, but is done for the day. There's a good look at Cooper's Bronson McLeod. He, by the way, did get the assist on that goal. We talked about earlier, Riley Cass was credited with the goal. So here we go. Cooper will send that first line out there with Rooney off the face-off. And it is on the stick of McLeod. McLeod sends it ahead now to Nightingale in over the line. Nightingale on the far boards. Hawks still on that man advantage. Stagger had it and lost it. Picked up by Rooney. Rooney sends it back to Nightingale. A shot, and McCoy makes another save. Stagger standing right on the doorstep.
Good heads-up play there by Rooney. He's cutting across the high slot there, and obviously everybody's attention is going to follow him, and he drops it back to the weak side for Nightingale for a pretty decent shot.
And on the board, you see 45 seconds on the power play. They've got a minute 12 on the power play up on our board, which I believe is correct. Yes, the minute 12 is going to be correct. Oh, never mind. Yeah, somebody was wrong. They were wrong. Of course our truck was correct. What am I thinking?
Penalty clock wasn't running as it should have been, so they're going to put it down at 42.
You guys had it right. We should tell them it's 45. Guys in the truck had it right. Of course we had it right. Stagger shot goes wide. So Cooper gets cheated out of 3 seconds of power play. Another shot right out in front. And the puck is loose right next to the net, and McCoy covers up again. .16-17 to go here in the third period. Stagger on that far side. They still have about 15 seconds on the man advantage, and what? All right, they're going to have a penalty.
Looks like Mr. Stagger's going to go again here.
He's got the hat trick today in penalties. That's his third. And he is vocalizing his disagreement with the call?
Well, you have to know that when the other team's been awarded a major, that they're probably going to be looking at your team pretty tight here. So could allow Como a pretty good opportunity to get back in this one.
So it'll be 4-on-4 here for a few seconds, and then about 1:48 of 5-on-4 for St. Paul Como Park. Huber and over the line. Huber takes a shot and a glove save by McCoy.
Be interesting to see if Cooper's able to keep the momentum they built, because to be honest, after they went ahead 2-1, Como just really took over, and then that major penalty just really changed the outlook of the game, not just by getting a goal, but just obviously with the power play. They were controlling the puck. They had a lot of time in the offensive zone.
Back behind the Como net. Good job by the Hawks to foil the breakout with Rooney bothering them there. Ahead the Cougars come, they'll dump it back in. This is their second power play opportunity of the game.
Cooper's got to be decisive if they get to the puck and get it out. They had trouble with that the first time.
Along those far boards. That's Anders Sanderin. He has it taken away. Huber clears, but not out of the zone. Rooney picks it up. Rooney's got an opportunity in over the blue line. Takes it all the way in, pulls it to his backhand and shoots it wide. Under a minute to go in the man advantage now. 3-1 Hawks. They scored 1 in the first on a goal by Rooney and 2 in the second. Linderholm and Cass getting the second period goals. Long lead pass too far. Whacked out of there by Linderholm, who nearly took one of the officials' heads off with it.
Where they both were scrambling for cover.
Yes, they
no matter how much experience you have, when somebody flings one over at you like that, that's got to be scary.
I remember back in the day in the NHL, the officials weren't wearing helmets way back when. Of course, neither were the goalies. You think about it. They come Worsley's like in the old days.
I can't imagine.
I know it's.
Can you just even believe? I mean, I wouldn't stand in net with in a squirt game without a mask.
No, I agree. Off the draw. Remember, the Como Park still on the power play, and they have not yet been able to set up their umbrella down here at the other end. I mean, they have gotten nothing off this power play.
And some good work I was going to mention toward the end of that last shift by Nick Larson down there for Cooper. He was able to keep the puck in deep for a little bit as they started to change behind him. He knew he was probably going to take a little bit of abuse, but he was willing to do it, and that's the kind of thing that helps you win hockey games.
In over the line, now it goes into the far corner. Rainier gulps it, but not out of the zone. Still 1 second left in the man advantage. Cooper has 5 men back on the ice. 5 skaters, I should say. There's a shot from the point that's deflected and comes back to the far corner. Picked up now by Nieswinder. Out to the point it goes. Shot from the point goes wide. This is Kopech. Kopech has it taken away. Nieswinder battling for it. Hawks clear to neutral where Kopech has it. Kopech sends it ahead, has it deflected. And the Cougars dump it into the Cooper zone where Linderholm gathers and they try to send it out.
Kind of awkward line changes for both teams there. That one is a little bit of a strange looking play.
No question. Nieswinder with it. Centering pass now. Backhand right out to Nieswinder, shoots and scores! Now, he did a great job of cycling and coming back to the near side, and it was not Nieswinder, or was it? I thought it was. Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah, he went to that far side and then circled around and came right back to the net and was able to put it in and make it a 3-2 game.
Boy, both their goals have been really nice. 3-way passing play here and just a quick little one-timer. Beautiful shot. Pass was even better.
And if you go back even further in that highlight, and we're not going to have a chance to look at it right now, but if you go back further in that highlight, you see what Nieswinder did, what a great job he did of getting himself back into position to score that goal. Hawks coming the other way. Shot taken by Rainier, so it's a 1-goal game. Under 13 minutes to go. Centering pass goes too far. This is Parker Jacobs battling for it. Ahead to Rainier. Back out to the far point. That's Potter now.
Penalty coming to Como.
So Cooper with the delayed penalty. They'll put the extra skater on, and big pile up in front of the net. So Cooper is going to go on the power play again here with 12:34 to go. And probably, in all honesty, probably couldn't have come at a better time for the Hawks. They get that momentum back after giving up that goal.
And a good job by them to skate away and not get too caught up in what happened later. It's obviously take a shot. Your first reaction is to come back at them, but if they would have cost themselves a power play by retaliating, that would have been big.
Here's another look at this goal, and you see Nicewinder coming back into the play he was right in front of that All-Star Sports logo and skated right back into the play after he had lost the puck initially. There's a shot taken by Rooney and checked to the ice on Rooney's shot. And flipping down is Nightingale.
Saturn went for hooking there, only to give the Hawks this power play.
Draw one by the Hawks. From the point, shot saved on the wrist shot by Bronson McLeod.
Not a bad idea there. If the defense isn't going to challenge you, you keep walking in until you're within range there and got a good low shot away. That's an important thing for a defenseman to be able to keep that puck a little bit lower. You don't want it fluttering.
Again, McLeod, this time with a slap shot. Puck comes back out all the way to the other end of the ice. Cooper will have to reset. Minute 24 left in that man advantage. They'll send that first line back out there. Puck is backhanded into the Cooper end. Here comes McLeod. McLeod to Stagger. Stagger comes in over the line. Stagger escapes by the defender. Backhand shot, steered to the corner. Stagger's still with it. Leaves it off now for Rooney. Back to Rooney it goes. He loses it. Puck is cleared back out to neutral, right under the stick of Potter. Potter will have to chase it down. Still 45 seconds or a little less to go here in this man advantage for the Hawks. Away comes Potter now. Potter coming ahead 1-on-2. He takes a shot. Kick save. Oh boy. Nearly knocked into his own goal.
That one hit the pipe on the carry him off the defenseman.
Man. Almost worked in Cooper's favor and they didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, the pinball right off it did start with a good shot and then pad save there that forced it right into the defenseman.
Ahead comes Jacobs. He has it poke checked away. Clear to the near side to Rainier. Rainier loses it, and that will do it for the man advantage. So let's see if Como Park can build on this as far as the momentum shifts go.
Yeah, nice kill for them.
Huber over the line, coming ahead 3-on-2. Leaves it off for Larson, who loses the puck. Back out to the near point, sent right back in by Rainier. Picked up in the corner by Larson. Larson leaves it there for Crawford. Centering pass goes too far and goes the length of the ice. Fortunately for Cooper, Linderholm was just coming out of the ice and it goes right to his stick. Here comes Cass. Cass sends it ahead, but a little bit too far. Trying to lead Patrick Cohen. Back behind the Como net. Picked up there by Crawford. Como able to clear back out to neutral, set right back in by the Hawks. Cooper 3, Como Park 2. 9.5 to go here in the game. Flipped into the Como Park zone, back behind goaltender Carter McCoy. Long lead pass goes too far and it'll be icing.
Boy, they're floating it forward out high, and a couple times in a row they tried it. Got to be wary if you're a Cooper defenseman. Biggest thing is to take away that angle. You make sure that it becomes a very difficult pass if they're going to try and do that, but got to always beware if there's somebody behind you. Don't let them behind you.
That's Max Inskeep who was sneaking away that time. Hawks trying to hold the zone. Potter kicks it to the corner. Rooney tries to center it. Nobody home, though. Here comes Como Park the other way. Racing back on defense is Nightingale to break it up, and he catches Como Park offside. And I think that had something to do with what Nightingale did. The hustle he had to get back into the play caused him to be offside.
Absolutely. Let's hope there's some kind of stat that Cooper records that will reflect what he did right there. He hustled back, defensively got a solid hit on, and he absolutely forced that offside.
Inside of 9 minutes to go. Puck played back now, chased down by Huber, nearly overskated it. He did actually, fell to the ice. Lost his balance. Potter has it. Potter rings the boards and it goes too far. And the icing is waived here. Chase for the puck. McCoy gets in the way of Rooney. Puck right out in front. Stick lost there by Nightingale. He has to go pick it up. Huber sends it ahead to Rooney. Rooney coming in unattended along the near boards. Rooney trying to come back into play. Gets out of the way of one man.
The hitting is definitely picking up.
Yes, it has. It's become far more physical. And it'll be icing on Como Park, so Cooper will get a face-off to the left of goaltender Carter McCoy.
Rooney knew a big hit was coming, especially after he'd collided with McCoy a little bit earlier too, and he was able to avoid it. Not often that you draw oohs and ahs for avoiding a check, but that's what he did. And David Bakken's not very happy right now. He felt there were a couple things that could have been called against Cooper.
Draw, it's Linderholm. Rink wide, far side to McLeod. McLeod shot, and we're going to have a penalty, I believe, on Cooper. And I think this is what's going on Parker Jacobs. And it is. Interference, maybe?
Yeah, they were tangled up in front, and to be honest, when the whistle first sounded, I wasn't sure which one. Jacobs ended up on top. It looked like he might have been a little more the aggressor, and so he is going to go.
Let's take a look at it.
Well, looks like we might have one per side. Yeah, we had two guys going.
Well, and you know what? As you look at that replay, Jay, I think it's a good call. I think they both deserve to go there.
Saturn will.
It was initiated by Saturn, and they caught both the initiation and the response. Many times it's just the response that's caught. So it'll remain 5-on-5 hockey.
You could feel that it's getting feistier as this third period goes.
Now, Cooper with just the one win this year and hanging on to a third period 3-2 lead. I sense some anxiety here as well.
Yeah, they obviously haven't played with a lead much, so it's a new feeling.
Here comes a 2-on-1 the other way for Como Park. Shot, whistles high and wide over the outstretched glove of Hewson. And the puck comes all the way back out to neutral. Bringing it into the zone is Renier. Renier has it poke checked away. Taken off by McLeod now. McLeod and Renier now tangled up in that corner. Cass trying to dig it out of there. Picked up by Rooney. Rooney right out in front. He shoots. Oh, he hit the pipe. You could hear it from here. Puck is loose on the side of the net, and finally McCoy covers up. Well, Rooney brought that out, had to bring it back to get an angle, and he let her fly, and it hit the pipe, I believe, to the right of goaltender McCoy.
Well, certainly every time he's got the puck in deep, the Cougars are kind of holding their breath a little bit because he's clearly the most dangerous sniper out here, and gets away a good shot and plenty of metal on that one, as he said, while you could hear it all throughout the arena.
Battle for the puck on that far side. Stagger with the centering pass. Puck is still loose out in front. Big pile up, no whistle. Puck is loose, and now what?
McCoy's hurt.
Yeah, he is down. He is down in a heap. Face down on the ice. And I did not see an arm go up, so I don't think there's a penalty here at all.
No, I believe they stopped it because of
the injury.
McCoy being down, yeah. He tried to get to the puck, and there were just so many bodies in the way. When he dove for this, he couldn't get it.
Well, it went right into his midsection there, and you're right. He tried to reach for it. I believe maybe he might have gotten stepped on.
Doesn't.
And I look at the other side. Did they even have another goaltender in uniform? I don't think they do.
It doesn't look like it, to be honest. Coach Bakkens over there discussing right now.
Pleading the case would be my guess. I mean, let's take a look at if we can get a shot of the Como Park bench. And you get a shot, there's a good look at McCoy. I don't think they have another goaltender in uniform. Maybe they, I don't think they do. I look at the roster, there's none other listed. JV goalie, number 33, Kyle Shellum. Maybe he is one of the young men with that's not dressed over there, just in a warm-up. It'd be a considerable delay if their goalie goes down. Here come the Cougars in over the line. 6.5 to go here in the contest. 3-2 Cooper. Centering pass right out in front. Houston makes the save on the point-blank shot by Raleigh Crow. Here comes Stagger the other way, along with Rooney. Rooney tries a one-handed shot that is steered to the side, back out to the high slot. Shot taken there. That one kicked back out. Picked up now by Linderholm. Another shot saved by McCoy. And Como able to clear, and it goes to the other end, and that's going to be icing.
Pretty good action end to end there. Stagger leading a good rush, and Rooney went hard to the net, and I was thinking, is he going to see him, and is he going to have time to get it there, and just did all he could to get a piece of it, got it off the outside of the net. That was a near miss.
And you saw what he did. He had to reach back with one hand and just kind of took a swipe at it to see if he could deflect it into the net.
Yeah, and that was really the only play to make there. There was nothing else he could do.
No.
Good job by Stagger to see him.
Shot from the point, laying down in front of the puck, though, is Gartner, and it goes all the way to the other end. Picked up by McLeod. McLeod bothered there by Will. Now it's intercepted. Another shot. Houston makes another save.
Well, Cooper, you got to be careful with the puck there in front of your own net.
Yeah, they are living on the edge, and McCoy covers up. If you're a Cooper player, fan, coach, you're living and dying with every trip down the ice here.
Sometimes I think guys don't realize that, even if you don't really advance the puck, that's better than turning it over like that.
Exactly.
If you end up having to absorb a check and keep the puck at your feet along the board, you're better off than giving it away.
Huber. Potter. Jacobs rather, right out in front, and skating into the net is Nick Larson. Puck goes into the corner. Ahead comes Como Park the other way. Fryer. And covering up, and probably wisely so, is Keegan Hughes.
Yeah, I think so. He definitely didn't want to take any chances there and get a chance to get a good line change here. You want to have some good, short, hard shifts if you're Cooper. You really can't afford any bad shifts right now. You need to just get out there and play good, sound hockey, which they've done at times, other times not as much.
Puck right out in front, spinning and trying to regain control is Toro Will. Centering pass, intercepted by Rooney, who snuck in from behind. Rooney sends it ahead, puts it right onto the stick of Nightingale. I don't think Nightingale knew it was coming. Nightingale with a shot and a save by McCoy. Puck played now in the corner, right out in front. Another shot. Rooney has it. He shoots and scores!
This line's been good, and they stuck with it there. The first try didn't get there, but Rooney just, as he was backing away from the net, able to lift that puck up and in.
Wow.
Give the Hawks a 2-goal margin again.
And again, watch the hard work, because as you said, he's fading away and just flips it at the last second as he's backing away. Stagger did a nice job to put that thing right in the crease area, and then as he is being hit from behind, and boy, I tell you, it wasn't that long ago where Rooney might have been checked in that situation from behind, but you could see the defender saying, I better not do this, and he just kind of nudged him as opposed to checking him.
Ooh. Dangerous play there to bring it out front by Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford, it comes all the way the other end, and that shot goes wide right out in front. 4-2 Cooper lead, 4:05 to go. Ahead come the Cougars into the Cooper end. in the far corner. Punched out of there by Crawford. And the Cougars send it back into the corner where it's picked up by Huber. Huber sends it out to neutral. Skips over the stick of Johns. Back now for Cooper is Drew Potter. He rings the boards to the near side. Held in by Como Park. Spinning for Como Park, that's Tor Will. He loses it. Nick Larson to Cass. Ahead it comes now to Rainier. Rainier in over the line. His shot is steered to the corner. 3:15 to go. Hawks looking for a win number 2 on the season. Ahead comes Kopech, right out in front, shot, and the net comes off its moorings, but I don't think anything was contrived there. I think it was just a result of some hard charging towards the net. Take another look at this move to the net, though.
Good back check there, and then almost face first into the goal was Jacobs. He had a little lapse there at neutral, but then got back into the play and did a solid job of tying up his man there.
Hawks looking to snap a 5-game skid here today. Long lead pass to Stagger. Stagger ahead of the pack, loses it into the corner, regathers now. This is Rooney. Rooney circling. He is checked off the puck. Como Park coming the other way. And over the line with it now. That's Zach Lee. And that one is knocked away. Ahead comes Nightingale. Nightingale leaves it for Rooney in the far corner. Trey Rooney centering pass, no. Right back out to the point, shot taken there by Bronson McLeod. It hits traffic, held in by Stagger. Shot is kicked off to the side, and the puck comes back out to neutral ice. Stagger circles back and sends it too far. And now the Cougars will come out of their own end. 2 minutes to go here in the contest. Cooper 4, St. Paul Como Park 2. And over the line now, this is Potter. Johns trying to regather possession back there. For Cooper, back out to the point to Huber. Huber's shot is deflected and taken away. Here comes Como Park, they've got a 3-on-1 if they hurry. You know the line, but poked off the stick of Tora Will. Cooper gets back on defense now. $1.50 to go in the contest. The net is empty at the other end of the ice. They're putting the 6th attacker on, has Como Park. They trail 4-2, and what do we have?
Got a penalty coming up on the Hawks. Going to be a cross check.
And down goes, I believe that's Huber that went down. He is very slow to get up. It looked like an arm. And into the net, into the box rather, goes Riley Cass.
So they're going to have a 6-on-4 advantage here.
You are right. For 1:21 left here in the contest in the 3rd period, and Como Park will burn a timeout. And the net will remain empty at the other end. Let's see.
Oh, right out front there.
Yeah.
Lowered the boom on him there. Pretty easy call to make. And let's see. So no disputing that one, and they'll take the penalty. And boy, that 4th goal now is
huge,
enormous for the Hawks, because
you'd be fighting for your lives here.
Yeah, you got 1:21, and it's going to be
hard enough to hold off a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, 6-on-4 right now. And this is where little things like faceoffs become so big. You can use a lot more time if you're able to win this draw, maybe get it down the ice. But if you're Como, if you win win a draw immediately and go on the attack, then your odds when you need 2 become that much better if you can get one right away.
Now the one silver lining here is if Cooper is able to clear the zone, they can ice it here because it's a penalty situation. They're in the power play is Como Park. Whereas if it was 6-on-5 and you cleared it, it's icing and they bring it back down. So there is a silver lining here if Cooper can get control and clear the zone. Let's see what happens here. 6-on-4 hockey. Back out to the point. Held in there by Kopech. Kopech has it taken away by Rooney, who clears it, and this long shot will just go wide. Oh, why did they call icing?
Well, they obviously blew it. It's going to have to be brought back out to center ice, and that's...
Boy, that is a...
That's a mistake by the official, obviously.
Bill Rooney cannot be happy with that. Yeah, you're right. They're going to have to... You'll have to face it off at center ice. You have no choice. That's a mistake by the official. Boy, oh boy.
There's always going to be calls you don't like, but this is a lack of concentration type of play.
I mean, we're talking about it up here. How do you not know it? They're on the ice. You've got to know it.
Yeah, you see it, maybe once or twice a year, and it does happen. I mean, there's no explanation other than just I forgot that they were on the power play. And you don't like to have it happen, but you got to play on and move on.
Off the draw! Rooney's shot! Oh, it just goes wide! Well, Trey won a face-off and nearly got a goal off of it.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
No, neither have I. Again, it's loose right out in front. Another shot, it just goes wide as Nightingale was point blank. 48 seconds to go. And another penalty coming up.
This one's on the Cougars as they took Nightingale to the boards in the corner.
Well, that'll even it up.
Sadarin's going to go.
And that was more a frustration penalty than anything. So Anders Sadarin not happy with the call, voicing his displeasure, but I don't think there was any question about it. Might have been something that precipitated that. And now they have to put McCoy back in because the faceoff is in that zone. And the puck comes out of the Como Park end. Huber just knocks it right back in. And so Como Park, who seemed to have it all going their way there for a moment. And really the key to that whole situation was Trey Rooney winning that faceoff at center ice and sending the puck towards the net, because it became a mad scramble that Cooper was winning the scramble. There's Stagger with a shot, and Stagger's shot goes wide. 15 seconds to go, and Cooper is going to win this hockey game. Puck goes up into the Cooper bench area. And of course, we have talked about what Trey has done here, particularly the fourth goal that gave him the 2-goal lead, and then that play off the face-off there. And of course, the earlier goal, so he's done plenty. But you can't say enough about Keegan Hewson tonight. I think he has just been the difference in the game.
Yeah, he is. Definitely been the difference early, and especially there were certain stretches where Como was really dominating, and he just stayed strong. And the other part about it, Wally, is not only does he make a lot of these saves, but you didn't really get the feeling that he was getting lucky on them either.
No,
he was actually he was in good position. He looked confident, and you see the way his teammates have responded by giving them the mob right there.
All right. The Cooper Hawks win for just the second time this year. They snap a 5-game skid. They beat St. Paul Como Park here at New Hope Ice Arena. The final score, Cooper 4, St. Paul Como Park 2. We will be back with post-game interviews right after this. You are watching Boys High School Hockey right here on Channel 12.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Final score here from New Hope Ice Arena. The Cooper Hawks winners by a score of 4-2. They snap a 5-game losing streak, and joined now here in the postgame by Trey Rooney to my left and by Keegan Hewsome to my right. Let's talk to Trey first. Trey, you guys got the first goal of the game and you got the last goal of the game. And in between, your club is able to manage to hang on and never fall behind in the game. And I think that's a big deal, to never fall behind in this game.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing about leadership. We finally had some leadership this game, and we were just picking up on each other. When I scored that first goal, we were just fired up, just kept wanting to go. Then we had a little system breakdown. We couldn't score a lot, and then we just kept pressing and pressing, and it ended up on top.
And one of the turning points of the game, I think, was when you were checked from behind. You ended up with a 5-minute major. You guys were able to take the lead. You took the 2-1 lead, and you never gave that lead up.
Yeah, that was huge. We really didn't control the power play very well. We were too anxious to do stuff, and then we finally got one rush. We ended up being a one-on-one, and he shot top glove, and it just went in.
All right, one thing I think I've never seen in a hockey game, but it almost happened. You almost scored off of a face-off from center ice. You realize how close that was. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that was crazy. I just told my line mates I was going to push it forward, and then I was like, uh-oh, this thing's going in. It's going in, and it was kind of rolling and wobbling, and it just snuck away to the other side.
So the final was 4-2, and the St. Paul Como Park, they had 20 shots on goal in the first period alone, and Keegan Hewsome stopped 19 of those shots. Great game for you. Talk about what your concentration level was tonight, because they were coming at you hard and furiously, particularly in that first period.
Yeah, started off throwing balls, trying to get focused in the game, and just kept telling myself to stay focused and concentrate and work on things that we do in practice.
And I think that, Jay and I were talking about the fact that when you guys did get the momentum shifted towards them, you were able to come up with some big saves, and that's huge. I mean, you've come, I know I talked to Coach Rooney before the game. He said that Keegan has come a long ways from last year to this year. Do you feel like you've improved a lot?
Yeah, I obviously started off in 8th grade, and I had a big brother. His name is Trent Callis. He was a very inspirator to me, and I thank him and other people just helped me build up, and just making saves is my thing.
Well, Keegan Hewsome and Trey Rooney, big parts of the Cooper victory as they beat St. Paul Como Park by a final score today of 4-2. You've been watching boys high school hockey here on Channel 12. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.